Hopefully he's watching. If not, he'll watch the recording. Anyway, welcome everybody. I'm Reverend Beverley Strutt here at Center for Spiritual Living. I am the spiritual director, and I am delighted to be with you guys today. There's so much exciting stuff going on here at the center. But before we get into the beauty of all of that, one of the things I don't like having to do is, one, share with you if one of our members have passed. But the other thing, I'd hate to share the stuff that is really going on in the world that is just weighs on our heart. And so right now, I want to speak to one more mass shooting that we have experienced in Maine. One more time, a lot of unnecessary, non-life affirming situations have come into play to create yet one more thing that is just weighs on our heart. So what I'd like us to do is always, we want to wrap our hearts around everybody, and know that includes even the perpetrator. We have to do that. We are all one with the divine. We're all children and creations of this magnificent intelligence. So for right now, I would like to speak to not just the Maine shooting, but also to all of those areas of unrest that we go in the world. So please, take one moment with me. Just close your eyes and go in. I just want to read a little affirmation, a little piece from Dr. Ernest Holmes. He says, "Let us face the future without fear. Let us realize if the world is healed of war and brought into peace, it won't have been because guns were bigger or more of them. Let us pray for peace and make our hearts, our intellect, and our soul be ready to receive and embrace it even before it comes. Let us, in the stillness of our own soul, go back into that ineffable presence, which is peace, and proclaim the peace, which is the power at the heart of God." So we breathe into this moment, and we hold close all of those that are feeling the hurt and the trauma through all of the unrest and the pain that suffers in the world. And so it is. Thank you. So let's move into playing with paradox. This has been the theme for the month, and as we've heard, there's been many, many different versions of how paradoxes come into play. Thank you to our speakers. We've seen the pair of docs. Oh, I've got a joke. I've got to tell you about the paradox. Okay, so two doctors walk into a restaurant for dinner, but the waiter didn't know what to do with the paradox. Da-dum-bum. All right, do you want to hear that one again? Or are you just going to go, He didn't know what to do with the paradox. Thank you, Stephen, for the paradox. And then, of course, I have one more. I'm very interested in joining the voter apathy party. The response was, "Well, with that kind of attitude, you'll never get in." Okay, forget it then. Oh, you're in. Love it, huh? Yeah. Well, these were a whole lot better than the other thing I was going to present, which was the two sides of that card where it said the statement on the other side of the card is false, and you turn it over, you say the statement on the other side of the card is true. No, we don't need to go into that one. So let's just get back into today's topic, shall we? Yeah. So welcome to Sean, a practitioner from Eugene, Oregon, right? Thank you. We welcome him in. Everybody else that is new, everybody else there that is new, welcome. Yes, thank you for joining us. We do enjoy the new souls that come in. Be nice to him, folks. He's a practitioner. Sorry to put you on the spot like that, Sean, but you know what? We just do that kind of thing. So what we have today is we're going to talk about the genius of the and. And I don't know if you guys were aware of this, but last week we spoke about the tyranny of the or, and, there you go, listen to the and I had the toughest time. If you've ever heard me speak, you know I don't stay with or. I never stay with or. It's always and. And I did not use the word and last week. I had to really focus on staying, because I knew the talk today was going to be about and. So I couldn't bring it in. I couldn't go, well, we don't do this or this, but and we can do this. No. It was the toughest talk I gave, because I couldn't really be in that place, because I am most definitely an and person. I've never had those boundaries of, well, you know, you can do this or you can do that. I'm like, why? Why? I want to do both. You know, they go, well, you can't be a ballerina and a NASCAR driver. Why not? I want to do both, you know? And we do that to ourselves. We have these boundaries within ourselves that go, well, if you are this, you can't be that. Or if you love this, you can't love that. Who made up these rules? It sure as heck wasn't me, because I'm saying and. You know, if you want to find out, you can say I am, and see where that first boundary lies. And then you want to say, but I am this too. Well, can you be both? Does a diamond have many facets? Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you guys, you are magnificent. Yes, yeah, I forgot. So here lies this whole thing about, well, you know what, I love to be the life of the party. And I don't want to go there too many people. What? So there's an either or in there. Well, you either are the life of the party, you're either an extrovert or you're an introvert. Since when? If you've met any minister, you'll know that every single minister is both an extrovert and an introvert, wanting to happen at the same time, in the time, all the time, every minute of the day. I'm in grief, and I can laugh. Yes, you can. Because there is and. You are allowed two emotions that run together at the same time. You can have two different ideas that might appear to the outside world as contradictory. Who cares? It's my life. I get to have that experience. I get to say, I am this and I am that. I love this and I love that. You telling me that I have to choose? Well, I don't want all of that. I love part of it. I don't want all of this. I love part of it. So I get an and. You know, we see this in our political system. I wasn't going to bring it up, but what the heck. We see this in our political system where we walk down and we are choosing this or that. Yes, we make the choices based on our overarching desires for life, whether we consider something life-affirming or not. However, we can see in both sides there is good going on. So I can like this and I can like that. I can walk this road and I can walk that road. And there's no reason but bad judgment and old hidden beliefs that is stopping us from having it all. We can have it all every minute if we choose to look at that way. You know, last week we spoke about that third way, the fourth way, the fifth way, the middle way, with the way where we allow something new to come forward out of two pieces that maybe are not working individually anymore. And we don't know what they are. We just let ourselves open, let God do it. I think that creative intelligence has a little bit more potentiality going on than I do, and so I hook in there so I can be part of that. Right? But we can also have the and. We can have the and all the time. I can rest and work. It's called meditation. Seriously, you can rest and work at the same time. Yes, we can. Sleep and work, not so much, because then you wake up in the morning going, oh, heck, you know, I really would like to have had a little bit more of my brain stopping. But the most important thing is to give yourself permission to not to get caught up in old beliefs and old judgments about it has to be this way or it has to be this way. If you're a cat person, you can't be a dog person. Hello, Sandy. Yeah, no, that is definitely not the truth, you know. I like Thai food, I can't possibly like Italian food. Oh, well, you know that that's not the truth, right? But these are the little things, and I'm just bringing your attention to the frivolous stuff, because that's the way I grab it. I grab your awareness so that you can go in deeper into yourself and see when you're saying, I can't because of this. Stop. Stop and go, hang on a second. Why am I making that judgment? Why am I setting the boundary? Why am I stopping myself from having the full expression of the divine that I am? Why? There's no reason in the world to do that. Because the magic and the genius of the and. And you know, when we lean into that place, it softens us. It softens us because we no longer have that strong judgment against everybody else that we see. Because, you know, when we're judging ourselves, you're judging other people. You tell me, oh, no, it's fine for them. You're only judging yourself. No, nope, that doesn't work that way. You might notice that you're judging other people before you notice that you're judging yourself. Because you've just been doing it for so long, it just seems this is the natural way to be. But no. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you could go through one day and not judge yourself on something you said, something you did, something you felt? Not stop yourself from going into the and. Wrap your arms around that other alternative, or even just a part of it. You don't even have to take it all. You know, you could just take part of it, whatever you want to do, to open yourself up. Just to be in that place where it's okay to have it all. Because don't forget, there's no limit in the divine. God's never said, oh, you can only have a little bit of this or a little bit of that. God's going, here it is. Take it. It's a fire hydrant of wonderment. Drink it in. You can digest it later. Drink it in. Open your hearts, open your minds, open your arms and go, yeah, you know, we have Dr. Kathy Hearn, one of my favorite mentors of all time. She would say, bless you. She would say, bless you too. Yeah. She would say, if you're going down to the river of life, what are you taking with you? A thimble or a bucket? You know what my response is? A backhoe. I'm taking a backhoe to the river of life. I'm going to drink it up in all of its possibilities. And there's nowhere in the river where it says, you can't have this drop. You can have this one. No. It is there. It is pouring forth in its goodness every minute of every day. And the reason we want to take that in is because how we work in the world is going to determine the vibration as we go out. So we want to do it. We want to dance. Even Rumi says, in order to understand the dance, you must be still. And in order to truly understand stillness, you must dance. Yes, you must dance. You must be willing and open to let go of those things that are keeping you stuck. You know, those old things that are going, oh no, you know, you think this, you can't have that. It's so sad. But I know that we don't think that way. You know why? Because I see what we create. I see we create from that place of and every day. I watch all of you do this. But there is an awareness where you can open up a little bit further. Open up a little bit more. See where there's something, that old hidden belief that goes, yeah, but Mama said. Yeah, Mama said, but Mama was doing Mama. It's your turn. You get to do you. And you know, if you don't do you, nobody else is ever going to do it, because you are unique. You are that unique expression of the divine that can only do you the way you can constantly do you. And if you don't do you, nobody else is ever going to do you. And you won't get done. Don't ask me to repeat that. It's never going to happen. Never going to happen. But you know, it's very common with us that we like to look at things in orderly little packages. We like to be in order. We're going to walk our path, and we know where everything is. And you know, when we refer to the ego, the one that wants to keep us safe, the ego likes to know what we're doing, likes to keep us and make sure that we don't step out too far. In other words, I like it when you say, oh, I know what that is. Don't say, and I don't got it. Stay with the or. But we don't have to do that. Our minds, and I know this from the person that wrote 7 Practices to Inspire, Hannah. She said, our minds like to categorize things into neatly labeled boxes. Am I right, or is she right? Let's stretch our minds to, I can be right, so can she. Embrace the and, it's like yoga for your brain. When we train ourselves to hold paradoxes by stretching ourselves out of the boxes our minds create, we stretch into new possibilities and adapt more quickly in a fast-changing world. So there's an important situation around this, an important fact that when we do our work, we change the world. So often we think, we're so small, what will I change by just thinking differently? This is how we change the world. I'm not saying don't move your feet. I'm not saying don't go out and picket. I'm not saying don't go do your outreach programs, not at all. But how we think literally changes the vibration of the world around us. So when we can let go of the labels, when we can step out and stretch, when we can say, yes, that person is right and I am right. Ooh, that's scary. I could feel that one. Yes, that person is right as well, even though I might not agree. Then we start to change the world. And ultimately, when we do that, especially when we're in Science of Mind, there is this movement, this pull in us to create a world that does work for everybody. This is part of our statement, our global vision. And how do we do this? We do it by doing our own work. So when you embrace the and in you, and you become aware of where that can happen in your life, and the more of us that do it, the more of us share it, the more the vibration changes in the world atmosphere of and. It's kind of like that big scale. You know, everybody's over here in the or, and if we walk over this way in the and, we start to weigh it, we could maybe bring a little balance back in. And if nothing else, we create an environment of goodness and love and joy around us that will shine in the brightness of the world. And that is important, because one of the big things that we brought here to do is live the greatest life possible for us. We are the joy of the divine, and we get to live it magnificently. And part of that is the and the other part of it is working within this framework where we can actually shift some consciousness in the world. We can only do it through consciousness. That's all we have. Really, truly, it starts in consciousness. So last Sunday, I read a little piece from Reverend Chris Ashley. And there's a couple of things I want us to remember in that. And she says, you know, we no longer get to choose between economic growth or taking care of people. We can do both. If we embrace the and, we can do economic growth and we can take care of people. It's possible. All it needs is one new idea. And when we open up to the and, we're inviting in that new idea. Technological advances or preserving the environment. Literally, the and sits in there to make it all happen. We don't have to say it's either or anymore. Not at all. When we open ourselves up to either a new way, a new idea, or we just literally embrace the and. No, it's an and. It's that easy. And then, of course, she goes into being conservative or liberal, tearing our societal systems down, or holding them up no matter what. Good for the many or good for the few. Taking care of ourselves or taking care of others, personal safety or collective freedom. There's not one single one of those statements that is not successful with the and. So why would we not want to use the and? Why would we want to hold on to the or? What is it That's why we called it the tyranny of the all. What is that power that it's holding over us? Why do we want to keep ourselves limited, keep ourselves in that one structure? Is it safe? Are we lazy? I don't think it's either one of those. Because when you're in the and, you got double sides. You got extra stuff going on for you. It's a lot more fun. Yeah, you have to make choices, like Kit said. We have to make choices as we move through. But that's also just part of our whole life, is making choices. And one of the most important things about the and is that we lean into oneness and wholeness. These are two qualities of the divine that are innate, living within us. Some of us have to dig a bit, but it's in us already. It's part of our blueprint. It's part of how we came here. It is what we came here to be, to create and be with one with the divine, so that we are living in wholeness, we're living in unity, oneness. This is what we're here to do. And as a matter of fact, the paradox about it is that when we are in alignment with the divine and we are living in wholeness, the and is easy. It falls away. But we need to bring the and in so that we can get to the place of wholeness. So it's not hard. It's in us already. We get to do this. We get to make that choice. We get to lay down the judgments. We get to lay down, well, they said this is the only way. No. Like I said last week, some of the stuff that is coming forward that is going to be the third way, that's going to be the combination, it's going to be the and, the people that are bringing it forward may not be born yet. They may not be born yet. It doesn't matter. Do we know that it is in action? Yes. Do we know that it is in action? Yes. You know why? Because we are in action. If you are in action, if you are consciously being aware of laying down the oars, not the oars, baby. No, we need those. The oars, and picking up the and, we are already in action, which means that consciousness is already lifting up. That movement to aligning fully with the divine so we can be in wholeness and oneness. You know, in our what we believe statement, we say we believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by this creative mind which receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it. All right, I'm going to read that one again. This is very important. Okay? This is at the foundation of science of mind. We believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God. That's the way it works. And that we are surrounded by this creative mind which receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it. The impress of our thought. In other words, we are co-creating with this divine. Our thoughts matter. Our actions matter. Right? We are impressing upon this every minute of every day. So this means that all of the paradoxes that we see in the world must be, in their totality, an aspect of the one. Right? So there's nothing outside of it. They're aspects of the one. This also means that all of the problems, challenges, polarities, the either-or thinking, and suffering in ways that the world isn't working currently, must also be aspects of the one. Whoa. Everybody remember this? Yeah, we're all going to have this emoji. It's all aspects of the one. This all, that all, even the and, the middle way, everything, it's all aspects of the one. So that when we align ourselves with this divine, wonderful, creative intelligence, we embrace everything. We get to have all parts of ourselves and know that they're all part of us. We love on the stuff that we don't care for in us. The same way we love on the stuff we don't care for in other people. We lay down judgment because it's all part of God. So when we can lean in to the and, we are aligning ourselves even more fully with the divine. We're moving to that place of wholeness, because it is in wholeness that we create the most magnificent experience that this world could ever offer. It starts with us. It starts with us. It starts with us being willing to have the and. It starts with us to be willing to impress into this creative intelligence a new idea. And for all of those that are in class right now, you know what I'm talking about. We plant the seed, soil, into the ground. You know all of that. And those of you who are not in class, get into the next one. It's fun. We have a great time. So I'm going to share one more thing from Dr. Ernest Holmes about science of mind and the belief that maybe we're a little Pollyanna, but we're not really. Because he says it is a popular belief that those who practice this science are a class of people who declare that everything is perfect, when as a matter of fact, everything in the objective experience of the race is not perfect, and indeed as far from perfect. So what they're trying to tell us is that what we appear to see might not be exactly as we think it is. And we don't deny it. We never deny it. This popular idea of the practice of spiritual science is entirely a misconception. A religious scientist is not one who assures themselves that wrong is right, that evil is good, that limitation is freedom, that bondage is liberty, or that sickness is health. They do not claim our objective experience is an illusion, but they do make this claim that behind the phenomenon of human and material existence, behind the slow and persistent process of evolution, there is one mind common to all people, that claim that this mind is perfect and that we all have access to this mind. So we're not going to tell you that there is not light and dark. We're not going to tell you that there is not mistakes happening. But what we are going to tell you is that we have the ability to process and connect with this mind that is behind it all. It is God. So we are a part of this. And to the extent that we believe it is our effectiveness in changing that consciousness. And with what we see going out in the world today, that is our call to action. Our call to action is to become aware in every minute of every day how you're walking it out. Where are you limiting yourself? Where can you stretch yourself? Where can you love yourself even more? And then where in turn can you love others even more? Where can you know the and for yourself? Where can you bring all the facets of all of your craziness and wonderment into play? And where can you do that in the world? This is the brilliance and the genius of the and. Because as we stretch into the and, we are willing. And willingness is the combination key for opening the doors. Because when we step in, we are wowed by all that is there for us. So, let us go into this place of where we can look at letting go of the or and embracing the and. So in closing, you know I'm going to share a little piece from Mark Nepo. He talks about the genius. The genius. Because the genius, don't forget, it's not just the and, it's the genius of the and. So what is the genius? He says, we have been trained to think of genius as an unusual brilliance of mind, an ability to retain or calculate or conceptualize uncanny amounts of information. But the original sense of genius meant attendant spirit, being in the care of something unseen but near. Attendant spirit. It is really another definition of wholeness or God, another way of acknowledging the Tao, the unseeable stream we all swim in. What he hates offers us an insight into life on earth. What he says offers us an insight into life on earth. I'm reminded that the Chinese ideogram for danger also means opportunity. This is not to suggest that we seek out danger, but they look for the openings when broken by experience, by which we can find our connection to the unseeable stream we often forget we are a part of. Perhaps the purpose in crisis, if there's one, is not to break us, but to break us open. That is the genius, the wholeness of God, the and that brings us into alignment with God. So it is. All right, let us take this to prayer. So we just take a breath in. And in this moment right here, right now, I can recognize the power and presence of the divine, all that is, that magnificent creative intelligence that works in us, through us, and as us in all that we think, do, say, feel, and experience. For it is the only activity. It is the action right behind all action. It is the idea behind all ideas. It is streaming forth in us and through us and out into the world. I know that we are all one with this in all that we think, in every way that we walk, in all our experiences and how we walk out our lives. We are the greatest, most wonderful expressions of the divine in every way. And so I know for each one of us as we walk our path this week, that we walk it in this place of awareness, this place of letting go of any limitation, this place of letting the all go and embracing the and, for there is so much more to be experienced. I recognize and know that as these magnificent expressions of the divine, we are willing to allow ourselves to break open, to experience the new, to walk a new path, to try something different, to let go of what is not serving us and embrace all of this new wonderment coming forward. So I know as we walk our path, we walk in awe, we walk in awareness, we walk with our eyes and arms and hearts wide open to receive all the wonderment that the divine is pouring forward, all the wonderment that is being shared by all those around us. And we know that it is good. So I just release this prayer knowing it is done. And together we claim it by saying, and so it is. Thank you.